we fucked that one up. Yeah, we're going to talk about your little dance and talk here in a minute, and we're going to go into this right here.
Automatically, when I saw it, when I saw your videos, I'm like, it's kind of like praise dancing.
She's not this bad. This lady is like,
no, you actually
ain't that bad.
What's coming out of your mouth makes sense.
What are you about to do?
Oh, you gotta watch this. It's gonna be great.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of praise dance is this?
I can't do no more. I'm fucking dying here. That looks nothing like what you do.
But she's actually a very trained dancer. Like, you can see she does actually really know what she's doing. She's got, like, perfect alignment.
I like the way she fell on her side and just boom, like dead. Then rolled over and put her butt up in the air. That was fucking...
I kind of thought it was interesting.
I love the woman at the pulpit. The one who's like, you know...
Oh, she's all...
You know, I don't know what she's saying. It sounds like another language, but yeah, watch it again, and I end up watching the woman behind the pulpit because she starts moving too.
Yeah, but I was kind of. I mean, I thought she was actually choreographed something like that. It seemed like she actually knew what she was doing.
Oh, it was planned.
Oh, yeah.
And practiced, definitely. It's just insane.
What kind of praise dance is this?
It's like someone's playing basketball in the background. Like someone's doing like a big old tall dude's doing a dribble. It's like the beginning of a fucking Nike commercial or something.
That would be a good Nike commercial.
Not supposed to be a joke. Thanks for laughing, everybody. Fucking eat my taint. Oh my god.
Fuck your ass, make you humble.
Oh, sorry about that. That was one of our old hosts on the show.
Yeah, she.
Not him, the dipshit he was putting in a camel clutch, but I shouldn't talk about the dead. Rest in peace, that show. Rest in peace, Wrestle Shoot. Rest in peace, Rob Wilds. It was good while it lasted. Anyways, back to the spirit dancing here, jumping around.
So do you find you're getting a lot of heat from the right? You know, especially being featured on Ben Shapiro. Have you gotten any heat from anybody else from the right? You know.
This music is like, I feel like someone's gonna come up behind me. It's so silly.
They are. This is an adventure.
That's why you have to
right? Right. No, I don't. I mean, I think when that video came out, it was a split understanding of what was going on. But anyone who thinks that I'm not in on the joke of what I'm doing is like, they don't get it. I think that the whole Ben Shapiro thing, I actually saw it as a compliment, you know? And I don't really care if people necessarily fully agree with me. I don't think that's the point. The point is to engage in conversation. And whether or not someone agrees, they will never unlearn that the U.S. military has a massive impact on climate change and the environment. And they could disagree with it, but that's still a point that's permeated into their consciousness. So that's...
I think he was enjoying you dancing because he was sitting there with a.
He was perplexed.
He was staring. He was staring. So he was liking it, but I don't think he gave a shit about the message behind it. Go.
Oh, he did compare her to Noam Chomsky. He heard what she was saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, being compared to first of all, Noam Chomsky talking points. It's
right.
Such a backwards insult, but I was also like, thank you so much for noticing my intellect, Ben Shapiro. I mean, I think that's the point. Is what we're trying to do is spark conversations with people, and it's not about the outcome. It's about the journey of how to connect and communicate and have dialogue that may be somewhat heated because you don't agree, but can't there still be the effort of coagulating in time and space with another human being, despite the fact that you may not think exactly the same that they do? So I saw that as a win on a personal level.
It was, and it's not like you were trying to be. That's why he likes to focus on people that are really fucking weird, and they're just mentally ill. But your video, there's art behind it. I've been following you for a couple of years now. I've been laughing about the twerking thing. You do funny twerk videos that you upload it in your dance residuals when you're talking. And I hurt myself trying to twerk too, and you've been laughing about that for about a year and a half now.
I want a video of that.
You're talking, you're expressing language through dance. And I wouldn't, I'm Native American, so I wouldn't say that's necessarily a bad or a negative thing. So
You're Native American?
Yeah, no shit, I'm Cherokee. I'm Cherokee and Scottish.
The blue-eyed Cherokee, right?
Yes.
There you go.
My great-great-great-grandfather was Chief Rowing Canoe, and that was one of the Cherokee Nation.
Yeah.
But I understand localization. Shut up, Phil. I understand, expressing words and stuff. I want to fucking kick you out of here. Where's that button at? But I understand expression through dance and through physical motion. So I don't think it was a weird thing to point it out on his show, as in you're one of those kooks that he was interviewing, but he was showing someone who believed in what they were doing. And that's different.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like it was funny. That whole experience was, I think, catalyzed by a Twitter account called Libs of TikTok. And first of all, I was like, I am not a lib. I feel like I'm like beyond all political affiliation at this point. I don't want to identify as anything, but I thought it was interesting because I actually contacted the people, because whatever tweet they made, it was wildly popular. And I was like, oh, cool, like me and Libs of TikTok should connect on an emotional level. Like, we're both equally benefiting from them making fun of me. So I messaged the Libs of TikTok, and I was a kind message. I was like, hey, I saw that tweet was doing well, and they just blocked me. And I was like, what? How would you block me, you fucking, like, what are you, were you wearing panties? Like, why? And so then I went and I found them on Instagram, and I was like, hey, why did you block me on Twitter? And the dude there was like, oh, it's a different guy who handles that. And I was like, really? I don't think so. So ask him why he blocked me. So I thought it was kind of an interesting move. Is like, if you're gonna like use someone's content of which to further your own platform, like at least engage with them.
I would have thought they wanted to make you like spokesperson or like their queen.
Why not? No, Libs of TikTok was to make fun of all
libs. You guys hear that?
What is it?
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the purple sticky smoke break. Woo.
This is the part we smoke some pot. Here we have purple sticky. Paul ain't gonna smoke pot, but he'll be here anyway. The executioner always smokes pot.
This is where the show falls apart.
Fuck you, no, it does not.
I'm sorry.
This is the part where we take a quick bowl, and usually the ones that aren't smoking are the ones that are.
If you listen closely in the background, you can hear listeners signing into something else.
I turned the Disney back on, like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, no kidding. Mandalorian hour. So, hey, Tony.
Yo.
There's a documentary I think I saw a year or two ago about, I think it might be called Women Aren't Funny, or something to that effect. You had to have seen that, right?
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely heard of it.
So what do you think on that? I know when everybody talks comedy, it seems like somehow Joe Rogan has become the official spokesperson for stand-up comics. I don't know when that happened, but all they ever talk about are the George Carlin, the Richard Pryor, the Eddie Murphy, the on their Mount Rushmore of comedy. But they never. I mean, I think maybe I've heard him mention Ali Wong once. Other than that, I don't see a lot of love coming from the male comics towards the female comic community.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what circles you're running in, for sure. And I mean, like, are you asking, like, is there sexism in comedy? Yeah, of course. There's sexism everywhere in the world. And that idea that women aren't funny, I mean, I think that comes from a place of believing that men are just develop a personality, and that women don't have that same pressure to have a personality because their body is their commodity of which they trade on the stock market of human value. So a woman's personality or her sense of humor just isn't of value because it actually creates a circumstance where dudes would feel threatened because her personality means she's having questions. And if she's questioning society or herself, chances are she's going to question you. And a lot of people don't enjoy being questioned or asking to be self-reflective. So I think it comes from actually a deeper intimacy fear of having to get to know yourself and having to question the self, and any comic is ultimately just a philosopher. So I believe what people are really saying is I don't want to be engaging with philosophical women because eventually she's going to ask me about my own philosophical understanding of self, and I don't want to do that. That's my personal theory that I just came up with at this moment. What do you feel?
I think that was awesome on the spot, ponderings. Me personally, I grew up with female comics. I've been watching SNL since I was a little boy in the 70s, and we grew up with Carol Burnett and Phyllis Diller, which nobody seems to remember. That's
I know these women, of course.
Yeah, so I mean, I grew up, if you're funny, you're funny. There are some female comics I never really cared for, not to throw anybody, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but then there's some male comics I really didn't care for either over the years. I do think that when it comes to content, male or female comics can, if they start going down the road of, my kids, or, my pregnancy, or, or that kind of shit, I automatically might tune into somebody else, whether it's male or female. It's very, outside of Eddie Murphy talking about his traumatic childhood and Aunt Bunny and all that stuff, I'm not crazy about a lot of the, the parental reflective comedy that some people fall back on.
Okay, let me say two things. One is, going back, the other thing I wanted to say about women in comedy is that a lot of what's funny is one's face, right? And making weird faces or doing weird things with one's body. I think physical... Oh my god! That was fucked up and appreciated. Yeah, so it's like physical comedy, making weird faces, farting into a candle. Like, these are things that are not normally integrated within the beauty standards of what it is to be feminine. So I think Kristen Wiig is a great example of somebody who really used her face in a very interesting way, and that was revolutionary in terms of her being like actually a really beautiful woman, but her beauty was not the priority. The priority was the humor. So I think that there's a different kind of pressure on women to find their value in beauty, where men can make fun faces. Or, Tim and Eric. Like, Tim and Eric are, I love them as comics. Do you guys know the Eric show?
I watched that movie. Did you see the movie they made?
Yeah, they're really funny. Like, they're funny looking. Like, their faces are funny. Their bodies are funny. They make funny faces and do funny things with their bodies. So I think that is something that men are a little bit more conditioned to feel more comfortable doing. And I think the women that explore that are usually funnier, like Gilda Radner. But going back to what you were saying, I mean, like, pregnancy, raising kids, these are part of the human condition that I think are done very well in certain contexts if the comedian is not taking themselves seriously, and they're not being didactic, and they're not being precious, and they're not like, oh, and then I saw my wife give birth, and I saw her as the beautiful goddess that she is. Like, yes, we've all heard these kind of tropes of comedians using these experiences, and it's ultimately hacky. But that doesn't mean that you can't talk about your kids or a birth and make it fucking funny. Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah, there's nothing more hot than thinking of a nice steaming hot placenta hitting the ground.
You can make it work. You can make anything work if you are imaginative enough. And I don't know if placenta is steaming hot.
Well, it's got to be body temperature at least.
Yeah, it's just a regular 98.6 degree. It's not like like a boiling temperature.
You know, ironically, or I guess it's not ironic, but it's a very sad thing that I think the person who may have done family comedy the best,
Cosby.
He like the most prolific rapist in history.
Good family comedy.
But he was great at it. You know, Dad is great. He gives us chocolate cake, all that shit. Grew up on it. Loved it. Driving in San Francisco, the tapes and all that stuff. I love that.
I'm assuming what you don't like is someone being precious and someone being precious.
I don't know, like for some, I'll go ahead and say it because she'll never appear on the show anyway. But like, I just didn't think Ali Wong was all that funny.
The first one when she was pregnant, or the other ones?
The pregnant one. I don't know. I can't relate, and for some, you know, and it's just for me, you know, I don't know. The whole thing, I just wasn't getting into it. You know. Then again, I wasn't crazy about Paula Poundstone. I don't know how those two compare, but like I said, but I love Sherry O'Terry. You know, and
super funny.
Yeah, and you mentioned her. I think she's amazing.
Hey guys, time to go into our second half. We'll be right back with the round table. Eventually.
Yeah. Do you have the stuff or not? What do you mean you don't have it? Freaking deal. Where am I supposed to get it at? Fine. What did you do your thing?
Make you humble. I heard you have fudge.
What kind do you want? Yeah. There's no need. Someone else is packing my fudge now.
What's up, Leatherface back here? It's time for the round table. Shut up, Phil. What are you rolling your eyes for? You fucking lick my fucking dirty hairy taint.
It's fudge marketed by 5th graders. I love it.
It's awesome.
The production value of these fudge things is actually quite impressive.
The fudge is going back.
Dude, they're not even our full sponsor anymore. I just love the videos so much, and everybody loves them. I just play them.
There's high production value. That's all I can say.
And it's a good laugh. We have Moonshiner Ewok, who's trying to get in the roundtable chat as well. He's having the same problem you had earlier with the in and out thing. So
you gonna introduce everybody else, man?
Oh yeah, let me get my echo on. It is Executioner, Dr. Phil, Purple Sticky, Paul Dale Roberts, aka Vigo.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Now I turned the echo back off.
Paul talks to dead people, Tony. That's
all these dead people.
Hey Tony, I gotta ask you something though. Okay.
I'm ready.
As a comedian and then a dancer, you're a very good dancer. What do you think about Donald Trump when he dances to YMCA?
What did I think about it? I mean, like, that's such a. What do you mean? Like, anytime I see anyone express themselves in the language of dance, my heart melts. Like, like,
Yeah.
I'm a very sensitive
He's
person.
a good dancer. He's a good dancer.
He's trying. Everybody, you know, like, I could probably dance and be like, oh, you know, like, I don't know what to say. Like,
See Uncle, see Hitler doing the Running Man. There we go.
it's just
No,
people in their vulnerability. I recognize someone's vulnerability and it speaks to my soul. That's all I can say about anything. Because that's the problem. That's why I am not in the position of power, because I have too much empathy.
Yeah, this is my friend Paul Dale Roberts, Tony. I got into paranormal investigation many years ago, and this man took me under his wing and taught me everything about the paranormal. He's a demonologist. He's a well-known paranormal author. He's had several books out, and he's been on a lot of different shows for the paranormal. And so this is a pretty good buddy of mine. And
Paul, sorry, Face, but Paul, speaking of dancing, I think you need to tell her about your dancing back in your younger days. What show you was on?
That's right.
That, huh?
Oh my God.
Star Search.
Let's hear it.
No.
Oh, even better.
Tony,
Go
back
ahead,
in the
Paul.
day, 1979, I had the Guinness Book of World Records on disco dancing, 8.5 days, 205 hours.
You didn't sleep? You danced for 8.5 days?
8.5 days. I had a 5-minute break on every hour, and I had witnesses that would watch me if I had to urinate. They would watch me, make sure my feet were moving while I was urinating. And during that 5 minutes, if I had
That's like a new type of porn, right?
yeah,
Thank God for good
This
cooking.
is urination porn.
during that 5 minutes, also too, if I had to do anything else, like a number 2, I had to do it during that 5 minutes.
Disco while you pooed.
That's right.
Wait, that would have been like a super deep meditation, and you didn't sleep, you didn't eat? Like,
That's just called booger sugar and dancing for 8 days. I mean, we've all done
Did you
that.
go ahead, Toyota?
I had a lot of stamina. I had a lot of energy. Back in the day,
booger sugar.
I had a lot of energy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that sounds like it would be like a really deep spiritual work.
Yeah, the dance for 8
Well,
days.
I was actually
drugs.
hallucinating during that 8.5 days. So around
Yeah, I
about
bet.
the 7th day, I was hallucinating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Wow.
Did they call the cops at that point?
No, they had an emergency team because there was 3 other people trying to get the Guinness Book of World Records. One fell flat on his face. This other woman, her legs turned into elephant legs, and they had to take her on in an ambulance and get her out of there. And another person went into convulsions.
So you were
Is there footage of
competing
this?
against these people.
What's that?
You were competing against them, so that competition was helping to drive.
Well, actually, they were competing against me because I was the one announcing that I was going to do the Guinness Book of World Records. And before I knew it, I had these 3 people who were competing with me. Yeah.
And that's why you showed more.
Paul, was there a secret behind that you did?
No,
You can't say nothing?
no,
secrets, huh?
no, Broadway. No secret. No secret. No. Yeah.
Yeah, but what the fuck are elephant legs?
I think that means that the legs got swollen
Elephant legs.
from blood.
Yeah.
From
I wanna see
blood
that.
getting stuck, the stagnation of blood in the legs.
Yeah.
Are there pictures or like footage of this?
Oh
Because
yeah,
this would be
just Google Paul Dale Roberts disco,
Yeah.
and then you'll see some pictures. And if you go into disco Wikipedia, go into dancing, and you'll see my name there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Disco royalty.
Yeah.
That was on Ripley's Believe It or Not, because I remember.
Yeah, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Ripley's too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A little history.
Funny.
Yeah. Hey, but
That's some funny shit.
it was so funny because Leatherface was talking about Malcolm McDowell. Okay, I went to Witchapalooza and they kept on telling me, they go, Paul, you're going to interview Rowdy McDowell. So I was getting all my notes together, and when I got up there, I said, boy, this guy looks like Malcolm McDowell, but he's Rowdy McDowell.
How did you fuck that up?
Yeah, so
This is Malcolm McDowell.
yeah, and so I'm interviewing, and I'm asking, I said, so what was it like to be around Elizabeth Taylor? He He goes, you got the wrong McDowell. I go, shut. And then all of a sudden I started talking about Clockwork Orange, and I was saved because he wanted to talk about Clockwork Orange, talking about a possible sequel and everything else. So he finally calmed down, but I was so embarrassed.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I do not want to imagine a sequel to Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that was the rough one.
That book scarred me for years to come.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Tony, what inspired you to do what you're doing?
Like the making of the videos or the dancing part of the video?
Well, all of them. All of
This stuff right here.
I want to slide into your algorithm.
That song's gonna be stuck in my fucking head for a week now.
I spent like 70 hours editing that video. Like I worked really hard on it.
How long did it take you to write the song?
The song, not as long as it took me to edit the video.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought the song as a concept was funny, you know, and I was like, oh, like, the algorithms that are ruling us. I wanted to do, like, a Devo kind of pop song, and where I dress as the algorithm. But the editing, that's what really took me a long time to make that beautiful product for you. I want to slide into your algorithm.
It's good production.
You're gonna be hearing that in your dreams for weeks now.
You know what, Tony? You know what you remind me of? You're the modern day Weird Al Yankovic. You're like the modern, because when he came out that Bologna, I'm like, damn, that right there was genius at that time, you know, and he just came out with it. But you're like the modern day Weird Al. I gotta give it to you.
He's my favorite Weird Al.
With that, I'm a fan of Weird Al. I liked him with all the Michael Jackson spoofs that he did. But
Another one right off the bus.
I think anybody.
Not me.
What was that? What was that?
That was a humping kangaroo.
Did you do that, Phil? Did you?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Did you do that? Sticky?
Yeah, it was me.
Paul, did you do that? Paul did it. Alright. It was Paul. Alright, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I actually heard that kangaroos have 4 vaginas.
Word.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't get me a kangaroo.
Pardon?
Nice for a
Never.
cow. Hey, I got something.
Wait, you want to be a kangaroo?